Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everyone, to another amazing episode of Referrals Podcast. I am so excited about today's subject, and you are going to learn a ton. And I'm telling you, the one thing you're going to learn is how do you bring more energy to your business, and how do you bring more energy to your sphere, to your tribe of trust, to your database. I cannot wait to bring this guy in today. Real quickly, before I get into the exact subject of today's podcast, I want you to check out a couple of URLs. First one is referralspodcast.com. Check it out. You can subscribe to the podcast there. You can go check direct link to our YouTube channel. Maybe you didn't even know we had a YouTube channel, youtube.com/getreferrals. And the next one is I want to invite you to join gengen.com. Join the Generosity Generation. That is our referral network. That is our tribe of trust. It's joingen.com. Join gengen.com when you get a chance of it. And speaking of joining the Generosity Generation, I have today one of my dear friends and just one of the top realtors in America doing just absolutely amazing things. His name is Danny Barron out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And I'm telling you, Danny, I'm so excited about this. I'm stumbling over my words, getting ready to say the next stuff. But the first thing is I just want to welcome you back to Referrals Podcast, brother.
Well, dude, thank you for having me back. I have said to anybody that'll listen for 5 or 6 years now that you changed my life. And speaking of stumbling over words, and it's not said with some weird sentimental. It's like, no, the fact of the matter is you introduced me to the idea of life-changing real estate events. And since then, we've been cooking, dude. And it's been awesome. So thank you for having me back on.
Well, my pleasure, absolutely. And that, I mean, here's what's amazing about events. And everybody, it's just so funny is people are like, you're going to talk about events again, Michael? And I always say, and you know, now Gen's gotten used to it a little bit, but I always say, if a guy who's breaking records starts to sound like a broken record, maybe you should start listening. If a guy who's breaking records start to sound like a broken record, then maybe you should listen.
It's good.
And that's where I'm at with today is just like I don't want people to miss out on the event train, because here's the thing that could happen is I want the person, especially the realtors, lenders, I want you to just imagine that you're driving around your city. You drive around your city, you pull into a neighborhood across town, you drive, and you know your friend Cindy lives in this house, and you drive by and you see another realtor's sign in their yard. How do you feel?
Ouch.
Like that sick feeling in your stomach, you're just dropped, and you're like, why didn't I stay in better touch with her? Why didn't I do that? And this kind of, it's the worst feeling in the world, you think. Now, you drive by, you of course circle back and drive back the other way just to see how the curb appeal is and just to see what mistakes the other agent made, just so we can feel better about ourselves. And we drive by, maybe check it online in a driveway or in a cul-de-sac just to see like how it does look online or if it's actually active yet. But we're just feeling awful. So we pull out of that subdivision. We're feeling miserable. We might even call our spouse and cry a little bit. And we're driving home. And then we turn into our neighborhood and we come to the T where we've got to go right or left. Right's our home. Left is the rest of the neighborhood. In front of us is the park for our neighborhood. And you see there's a lot of commotion. You see like a lot of your neighbors, Debbie and Tim and Tom, they're all at the park, and you're like, well, what's going on? And then you see there's these flapping signs and these directional signs that the same realtor who listed your friend's home is having an event in your neighborhood and all the neighbors are at this competitive realtors event. Now, you thought you couldn't feel any worse than seeing somebody's house, a friend's house listed by. No, it's where that realtor just took over your neighborhood. They just took over your entire sphere or farm in 2 hours. In 2 hours. So I don't want you to, I mean, maybe the fear of seeing that sign in somebody in your sphere's yard gets you to communicate with your database. But I hope that the image of seeing a competitive realtor holding and hosting an event in your neighborhood is enough to motivate you to be the first to do an event in your neighborhood. Because here's the thing, if you're second, you're just copying the first.
That's it.
You got to be the first to do those events, or everybody's, oh, they're just trying to be like Danny. They're just trying to be like Michael. So be the first to have an event. And that's why we created Event Mastery, is to help people have those first events, not just in your neighborhood, but in your community. So people, get on the event train before it's too late. And I just want you to know that there is something coming on the very near horizon where this is going to blow up, where your competitor in your city is going to be learning about events with Event Mastery. Event Mastery's been playing small while we've been developing it for 5 years, and now it is blowing up. We have major companies investing in Event Mastery, the class. So I'm just saying, I just, yeah, we're going to talk about events again. And here's the cool thing about events. Me and Danny ran into each other again at an event just about a month ago. We ran it now. I hadn't thought of Danny very much, and I damn well know he hadn't thought about me at all. He has a 6-month-old kid. He was thinking about Benham, his son, and not me. And that's okay. And I was thinking about Event Mastery. That's the truth, because Event Mastery is like a kid to me. It's like a new baby to me, right? So, but we both end up in Las Vegas at Keller Williams Family Reunion, and I am front row. There's 6,000 people there. I'm in front row. I pulled some favors to get front row.
I'm like, tell me about that.
And by the way, front row is a pretty good seat. Danny had a better seat than me. Danny is on stage in front of all 6,000 people on a panel. And I just want you to know, there were 4 people on the panel. God bless them. But they could not hold a candle to the energy and just perfect, like the energy of the passion that came out when Danny was talking about his lead generation techniques was contagious. And it literally listen, the 6,000 walked out of there after 3 series of panels. 12 people spoke. I guarantee it. The name they remembered was Danny Barron, because he's so passionate about his sphere, about his referrals, about the way he's in alignment with his business, right? And I'm telling you, I walked in this room, it was a little bit quiet anyway. And it was a little bit like, I don't know. It was it was a little dark. It was a little subdued. And then Danny Barron went on the panel and he fired up the whole room, and the entire world woke up a little bit. And is like, we got to get you on the podcast, right?
I appreciate that, bro.
So that's what led to today. It is interesting that it was an event that rekindled this relationship to the point where here we are today, All right. So let's just jump right in, right? So you're in Cincinnati, Ohio. How long you been in business?
2018, June of 2018, I got a license. So crazy enough, we're coming up on 7 years, which feels insane because I've been the new guy for so long doing the new tricks that you've taught me. And now all of a sudden I'm getting to be the old guy. What's that about?
I don't know. You got a ways to go, but 7 years for sure is you're a veteran for sure. And then like approximately how many transactions the last couple of years and like how many referrals would you say?
Yeah, so we've been between 150 and 190 transactions, and this is the first year where I don't think the market has done some sort of crazy change, but we are just feeling insane momentum. So our numbers right now would point to about 200 to 225 this year, which we're very excited about, and the team's been growing now very intentionally. So with the help
Yeah.
of a lot of pretty specific systems in place from who I think are just some of the greatest coaches across the country. We're really now recruiting to our team and truly trying to grow and using all the systems we're going to talk about today to do that. So it's been fantastic. We are about, I'm going to give you an about because it's a shifting number, 90% either direct sphere or referral based. It feels like, Michael, very rarely do we work with a stranger at this point. It's someone that's coming in with a warm introduction. And as you know, the best part about that, usually there's no competition. It's, hi, have you met Danny?
Right.
He's your realtor.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And if it is a stranger, it's probably an open house or a sign call or
That's it.
someone that's coming to you versus you chasing them. It's all attraction based, not chase based, which is the
100%.
best kind of business. And you know, they were talking on stage at family reunion and heard a lot about it since is just 83% of all people choose the first agent they talk to. And why is that? Well, it's interesting. Like 80% of all business is through referral. So that's why that, I mean, you either get in with a referral or you're fighting for 15% of the market by calling leads or
Easy
buying
answer,
leads.
right? Easy
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah. So man, there's nothing like the warm introduction, the referral for sure. So, all right, we were talking beforehand that I first invited you to the podcast, I don't know, probably a couple of years ago. And like a great guest, you did your research. You went back and watched and listened to some of the podcasts. And so tell me about how that led to what you did with Comedy Night.
For sure. So, as you know, what we love to do around here is to take a great idea and then to make it ours and blow it up 10x. I mean, that is just how do I take something that sounds cool that somebody else did, likely in a different market? To your point, if you're first to
That's
market
right.
locally, it's
Yeah.
going to be hard to catch up, and that's
You're
true.
just you're just following. You're
That's it.
just
That's
copying,
it.
right? It's
And
like
so,
the event thing. You don't want to be second in your market to do it.
yes, and even locally, we made a play, which if you're watching the video, you can see the studio we've got here. We made a play for YouTube, and we knew if we're going to become the YouTube realtors in Cincinnati, it can't be matching what other people are doing. We need to go out and have a differentiation. So for us, that was hiring someone full time. It was spending $25,000 on equipment. It was we're going to make our quality that which no one else can touch. And with events, what we wanted to do was, hey, let's take something that, and this is the beauty. I feel like I say this all the time, Michael, and your people know it, but other people always need to hear it. So if there's a guest listening, you get to do events for you. You get to do things that you enjoy that pump you up and get you hyped. You're not going to have to fake it when you're doing something that you love. So when I heard Comedy Night, here's what I heard in the differentiation between your guest versus me. Something they said, which I loved, was, hey, if you throw a Comedy Night, it's only referral aged individuals that are going to be there. What
It's
a
an
game
adult only
changer.
event.
Oh, dude, we're throwing these huge events with thousands of people, and sometimes it's maybe more than half kids that are coming to some of the stuff we do, which is awesome. We're doing it for these families. They're all YAP events. They're great, but what a really cool subsection to be like, hey, you got to be 18 and up to come to this event.
That's right.
Now, a twist on me from what I heard on that podcast, I'm a Baptist worship leader, so I'm not going to put some raunchy comedian up there. So I had to do my research on who do I think would pull and attract a crowd that's famous enough that we could fit. Let's shoot for a local megachurch of 2,000 seats that we had access to. And tell you what, man, who you know matters. We ended up paying $2,000 for a venue instead of $20,000 for the traditional venue because we had a plug at the place that we ended up doing it. So it's always good to ask. And if you know somebody who's a resource, that's great in your world. But we booked Trey Kennedy, who is essentially an internet comedian that started out and became more of a like touring stand-up comedian. To go get a Trey Kennedy ticket right now on his tour, you're paying over $100 to get in the room. So when we posted initially and then did the emails and everything, hey, we got Trey Kennedy for this event, people thought we like bought a couple tickets to his show because it didn't even click for them that we could go get someone that big nationally and bring them in for a private show. So,
all right. So how did you get them? So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Is, the first thing you talk about is how connections in your network got the venue at such an amazing cost and price. And guess what? That's how life works. That's why we network. That's why we do this. All right. So how did you end up getting Trey Kennedy? Like, what did that look like? Don't tell me you just called him.
Oh yeah, there's this thing called the internet, and we had to find his agent online and send a whole lot of emails to even get a response. And it takes something called perseverance, and it felt a lot like a real estate transaction, to be honest, Michael.
Yeah.
We had to track him down. We had to get with his agent. We didn't like his first price. We had to negotiate him down. And guess what? To get a guy like that, they know their value. They're paying out. It felt like hiring a realtor and having all these brokers that are getting paid along the way. And the seller at the end of the day is like, well, what's my net? And you're like, man, are we paying Trey Kennedy this much money? And it's like, no, he's got a lot of people along the way that are taking cuts to get him there. So in those negotiations, I had to go a little bit higher than I wanted, but I also recognize this is a forever brand changing event for the Baron. This is not your traditional, we're going to give out some pies at Thanksgiving. This is, we're putting a stamp in 2,000 people's brains that'll never be the same. And I'll tell you what, on the podcast that I listened to, the gal was talking about how she got to get up there and do giveaways with a microphone.
That's right.
I'll tell you what, I ended up with 30 minutes of microphone time. I can estimate that we threw about $5,000 worth of swag from the stage directly into the crowd. We played into surprise and delight. We had 10 golden tickets underneath chairs. Nobody knew.
No way.
And about 10 minutes in, we announced that everybody needed to check under their chair, gave away multiple $150 gift cards to the top steakhouse here in Cincinnati. We pulled up, without asking for permission, our top 6 referral partners of the year. We dragged them on stage, had their face on a slideshow in front of 2,000 people, and they came up shocked out of their mind to get a hug and a congratulations and a gift. One of those people is now a realtor on my team. So, by the way, with these events, I'm going to just tell you right now, Michael, a lot of the stuff that we've done, I do for the end client, and it ends up building my team. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to create an environment that people want to be a part of.
Who doesn't want to be on a team that's doing a comedy night with 2,000 people? And I mean, fun lead generation is really kind of this byproduct of a fun team.
You want to hear fun?
I mean, you got to be a pretty fun guy to want to do a comedy night.
Yeah, I mentioned that we're on YouTube, so we have this full-time media guy, and guess what? We made a spoof to start out the entire night. We made a spoof SNL video where he walked through. It was a 2-minute video introducing each of us with the SNL music in the background, a camera panning around just like it does on Saturday Night Live. And then it would we'd strike a pose and it would throw our name up on the screen. I mean, we are talking, this was from the second people walked in with their free popcorn and their free soda out in the lobby to the video SNL to kick it off, seamless transitions, an opener, a comedian, $1 million worth of stuff chucked in the middle, and then a meet and greet for our top people afterwards. I don't know that we've ever had a better night in the history of our business. It was unbelievable. And here's what I can tell you, Michael. Our favorite moment as a team, we all at about 11:30 p.m. just crashed backstage on this couch and just decompressed for about 45 minutes with our stories from the night. One of the coolest things ever, dude. It was so fun just to recount. Do you remember this? Or did you see this person was here? Did you see that those 3 people that we all helped met each other in the lobby and we're talking? We had a DJ out in the lobby. I could go on, dude. When you think about the details of bringing 2,000 people together and how can you seamlessly and beautifully do it, there's so many event ideas, but for us, that one was a knockout.
Yeah, that is a knockout on so many different accounts because, and that's a bit to orchestrate, right? So I have 5 questions real quick. Right? How did you invite the people?
We invite people constantly through creative video ideas. So we actually made, I'm not joking, we made a stand-up comedy video where it was on our Instagram, our Facebook and everything and emailed out to everybody. But it started out with me grabbing a microphone in front of a brick wall saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's good to be here. Hey, good to see you, brother. And then we had each team member have different lines throughout the video as if they were stand-up comedians, but they were telling people about the event. Oh, it's actually going to be on September 5th. It's going to be this. So just leaning into we know we're going to look ridiculous, but our people know us. We've earned the right to goof around a little bit.
That's right.
They know how good we are at what we do, that when we go have fun, they want to have fun with us too. So that's number one. We do a mailer, an email campaign for at least 4 or 5 weeks. I like planning 45 to 60 days in advance on these and getting a save the date out at least 45 to 60 and then solid marketing weekly. And then we text the Eventbrite link to people directly. I go through the list of every home I've ever sold and hit all of those people. We have our database of people we're going through of people that we'd like to work with. And then we're splashing it across as a true all yap event of anybody that sees this link don't worry, you are invited. And with this one, brother, for the first time, I actually invited other top local realtors. I went through the top list
Wow.
and I said, hey,
Yeah.
we've got extra seats to see a
You're into
very
recruiting so much more now, right? I
yeah,
mean, they don't know it's recruiting, but that's recruiting. And listen, I think that's all. I honestly think the whole recruiting aspect of events is another podcast that we do down the
for
road,
sure.
because it is seamlessly and easily incorporated into the event mastery plan that you already have, right? And I
Absolutely.
love that what you said about 45 to 60 days, because event mastery is 8 weeks, right? It's eight
Yep.
weeks. And people all the time, man, 8 weeks. And, we do the event the week 7, and then follow-up mastery is starting week 8. Well, guess what? To run a really good event, you should take 45 to 60 days, which,
Yep.
it's a powerful deal. And really an event sequence, I would say, is 12 weeks. So guess what? Those people that are reading the 12-week year, well, what if you could combine the 12-week year with fun lead generation, with the best 36 touch, with the best 8x8, with the best marketing? Well, that's an event,
I'll
right?
tell you
That's
what,
that's all
it's
rolled up.
beautiful.
I mean, it is, right? I mean, because, how many catch-up calls can you do with your database? The answer is one. Once you
Yeah.
catch up, what's the rest? And then how
Right.
many equity overviews calls can you do with your database? It's like one a year. Then what are you
Yep.
talking to them about? With an event, you talk to them once and they say yes. You literally now have permission to talk to them in 12 different ways, 12 times until the event, and 4 different ways, 4 times after the event. And
Yep.
they're not only okay with it, they've given you permission and they want your communication.
And then they like you more as a result. How about that?
Right. And it's all attractive. They come closer to you.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, just so much good stuff. So, I mean, what you really did with the comedy event that I love is you orchestrated an experience.
Yep.
You didn't just show up, do comedy, and everybody was gone, right? You had the lobby, you did the popcorn and the pop, you did the golden tickets to make it even better. You did the giveaways, which door prizes are a big part of event mastery. And then you incorporated the video as part of I mean, you did Trey right, right? I mean, Trey knew he was part of a big deal.
For
I mean,
sure.
I went to a Dana Carvey event in San Francisco that a kind of a similar deal. We literally all went in there. It was quiet, no DJ, no music. And then Dana Carvey came up on stage. He did his stuff. It was mildly funny. Dana
Yeah.
Carvey's a super funny guy,
Yeah.
but the environment was not set up
That's it.
in a way for
There's got to be
us
hype. You need
to be
hype.
relaxed and hype, right? And the other thing is you talk about the DJ in the lobby. I talk all the time about, have an event that incorporates all 5 senses,
Yep.
right? You got to have music.
Ask me if my DJ's bought a house with me since then. Yes.
There you go.
So by the
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
talk about another referral partner.
And you, right. And you hired them. So they're like, oh, well, I to reciprocate, I need to definitely work with Danny and his team.
It's business, man, for sure.
Well, I love it. I love it. And then something I want to make sure that people, you drop like 75 brilliant things, and I'm only talking about 5 of them. The other one that I hope people get is you get Trey. Well, you do a meet and greet afterwards for your top people.
Yep.
So you literally at this event, you got the best of the all yap mixed with the best of the top yap, and nobody went home upset.
Yep.
Nobody went home upset. And you recognized your top 6 referral sources from the previous year. Guess what? All 1,994 other people are thinking in the audience. They're like, I want to be that guy. I want to be that gal next year. Right. So that recognition and giving awards to those that have supported your business the most in a scene like that. I mean, you could have done that in different ways. You could have done it on Facebook. You could have done it in a video. You could have done it on YouTube. It would not have had the same effect
Yep.
as it did them standing up in front of their neighbors and getting that award. I'm sure there were even
The
tears shed.
sheepish. I didn't know I was going to be up here tonight.
Yeah. Were there tears shed?
Oh, there was just shock and awe. No
Yeah.
tears, but definitely some like people looking around like, why am I walking up here right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I
It was
love it.
pretty cool, man. I wouldn't take that one back for anything.
Yeah. Well, all right. I mean, and people are going to be hearing, they're going to just be like, wow, that was a lot to organize. That was a lot to orchestrate. That was a lot to do. But listen, if you take it 5 minutes at a time, what the experience of the person who's coming to the event will go through, it's not that bad.
Nope.
It's not that bad. Like getting a DJ, anybody can get a DJ, right?
Yep.
Getting the invites out through various methods. Anybody. Now, we're not saying everybody needs to do a 2,000 person event, but a 2,000 person event. There at one time there were 20 people who were coming to your event, right?
Correct.
Might have been in the first day, but everybody can have a 20 person event. So I love it. I love everything. Any final epiphany? And here's the thing I love most is you listen to Referrals podcast. You heard Toral and you heard Neil.
That's it.
Who have done, Neil went to Toral's comedy event. Comedy was and hosted it, and it was Neil's observations of Toral's event. And then you took Toral's, and it's like, I'm going to make my own, and blow it up. And it was really based on the premise that I'm going to make people laugh, and it's an adult only. So everybody at the event is of a home buying age, and
Yep.
and I want to make sure people don't miss that part of it. Any other wrap up of the comedy event? Do you know of referrals or business that came from it? Do you know?
Yeah, we actually had a referral. So, and this is where everything we do is so event based and intertwined. I finished a call at 1 p.m. today, and I'm on with you here at 2. Of someone that's been to multiple. We'll get into our Cincinnati Reds game, but they've been to our Reds game multiple times, and they watch our YouTube channel and have tried restaurants that we've recommended. They're now calling me to build a house and to list their house, and they're not talking to anybody else. So, I mean, it's just, but for this specific event, I remember one woman that literally called her friend back that brought her to the event and said, weren't those people that threw that comedy night realtors? And they ended up going through the chain of their friends, finding out our name, which had to be hard to forget our name after that night. We splashed it everywhere, but she managed to. It's about 2 months later, and she followed up, and we ended up working with her mom that was moving back to town. So my one takeaway that you just asked, was there anything else? We put our vendors on spotlight that night. And I have guys that are still giving me thousands of dollars per year towards our events because we stood up that night, slapped their logo up on that. And I said, hey, if anybody in this room needs an electrician, this is your guy. He's here tonight. He's sitting right here. Dustin, turn around and wave to him. You're like, hello. I mean, just the coolest way to make them feel like $1 million. What a way to reiterate your money going to us is worth it. And now that he's getting 15 or 20 leads a year from our team, he'll never stop giving us money. So there's just so many ways to make that special for people. And one of the takeaways, Michael, I think my personal brand changed. I'm a worship leader at church. I'm used to having a microphone, but people don't see me in that light that don't go to my church. I have probably gotten 20 to 25 comments in the last, it's been 2 years since that event. And that have people very specifically said, I had no idea you were so good on stage. You have so much charisma. And the follow-up, I could never have done that. I mean, just like this weird respect in people's brain that we were able to handle. And our whole team was able to crush this crowd of 2,000 people. Man, even saying out loud that was 2 years ago, we still reap the benefits of that event. And of course, we've done 7 since then. But you better believe I'm planning our next comedy night. I just got to find out who's cheap enough to get here.
Yeah, you're right. Right. Well, I mean, so another thing I want to point out is the bring a friend strategy that you incorporated because that your sphere person brought a friend to the comedy night and that friend contacted their friend to contact you to end up doing real estate. So the bring a friend strategy was incorporated here. I love that strategy. Love the vendor spotlight as well. And it's just one of those where here's the other thing. What was it perfect? Or did something go wrong at comedy night?
You know what's shocking? Of all the events we've ever done, this is why we sat in the room in the back and we tried to dissect anything that didn't go perfectly. The only thing was I left it up to my sound guy to pick a walk-up song for Trey Kennedy, and it was slightly murky for about 1.5 seconds before the song came on. And then it came on and he pumped it and everybody forgot. But to my perfect transition
That's right.
church brain, I'm like, that could have been slightly better. Besides that, dude, I don't know that a word was said from that stage that wasn't perfect. And it took a lot of prep and a lot of time. And we had 3 separate videos that played throughout the night. Michael, we filmed a video ahead of time of our people up on the screen while everyone was being seated saying, hey, everybody, I'm Josh. Just remember, scoot to the middle of the rows. We're packing the whole house tonight, so don't sit on those edges. This is all pre-recorded, so you can think ahead to every problem you're going to have.
That's right.
Take care of it. But then, of course, you want to be able to, on the spot, be able to troubleshoot. We were blessed that night to not have too much. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I love that. And I will tell you the energy, right? So this is a great lesson for those of you that are doing events is you don't want too many seats in the room, first of all. So if you have an event for 150 people, dear God, don't have it seated for 200 or 300,
please.
right? Right. Have it seated for 120.
That's it.
And if you have to bring in chairs, you bring in chairs. I will tell you, we just did RMS in Atlanta, phenomenal event. But we knew that on the second day, we had some people that like 20 people that had to leave. Well, when nobody noticed that there were a few less people in the room because we took tables out.
Yep.
We took tables out and the room was still 100%. We had to bring in a few chairs, but we always had to bring in a few chairs, but it brings that energy closer to the stage.
It matters a lot.
Right? So you want to make sure that standing room only is a good thing. Everybody's like, no, I want a seat for everybody. Standing room only is fine. Yeah, maybe you have some 10 chairs in the back that you can bring to take away standing room only, but standing room only is a great thing. So love that. Lots of things to unpack from comedy night. And talk about fun. People are walking out with a permanent grin on their face. They're like, why am I smiling? So I love it.
Hey, it helped that the comedian was actually hilarious too. He was perfect for our crowd. He knew our crowd. We picked it. Everybody that is listening to this, Michael, has a target market, and they need to pick things for that target. He was perfect. So that's clean, the bow on it at the end.
It's hard to find clean comedy these days. That's why Nate Bargatze is so famous.
I missed him by like 6 months, man. He just had to go on SNL before I got excited
just too
about
big. As soon as Netflix and these kind of things, and all of a sudden you can't touch him, right?
That's it.
So all right. So then you have the comedy night, which leads to the meet and greet. You have this awesome meet and greet with like 100 people that are at the top, and you're like, I should really do something for this group of people. And you're really unique. So I want you to tell people how you organize your referrals when they come in, and how that led to a really powerful Top Yep event.
Yeah, so right before we got on this call, I got a random call from Toledo, Ohio, which is up north, and I picked up. I thought it might be a referring agent. I'm getting used to having some inbound calls from agents outside of our network now, and I just spoke in Cleveland not long ago. So I got a call, and it turns out it's a direct client that lives here, and she said, hey, Brian Bell sent me your way. Brian's my former youth pastor. He's now in the industry doing renovations. So right now in my brain, Michael, I know as soon as we hang up, I'm texting Brian a link to a Google form. And when he fills that form out, we get his name, his email, his number. Do I have all that stuff? Yes, but it goes immediately to a database. And the questions on there are, does he like Starbucks, Graders, Amazon? Like, what's his preferred? Graders is ice cream around here, by the way. What's Chick-fil-A? What's his favorite? And then if he was going to get a Baron Group piece of swag, does he want a sweatshirt, a Yeti, a hat? What does he want? And he goes in and checks these boxes. It takes him 30 seconds to fill it out. He submits it. He forgets it happens until a box shows up at his house or an envelope shows up at his house. My team actually takes care of it. I realized early on this was a weak point for me when I had a Post-it note of 25 names a year into this industry that I hadn't sent anything yet. And I was like, I've got to create a system around this. This is pathetic. I don't know what my holdup is, but I'm hitting a wall here where I'm busy and I get back and I don't want to hit power cards.
That's right.
I need someone to do it for me. So Amber on my team crushes it. She gets emailed this form. She writes it from the Baron Group. She puts the gift in there. We've got all the gift cards. And then if they ever close on that property, would be a follow-up of a bigger gift, but we're rewarding the thinking of us. We're not rewarding, hey, your person bought the house. So they get that gift card. What I naturally did, and this was almost an accident, is Google Form then tracks all those people. So I had my list of who has gone out of their way in the last 4 years to send me a client. Oh, look, I have a list. And I had an opportunity to do what I think is the most fun thing I've done maybe in the last year, Michael, which was our FC Cincinnati referral partner only event, or as I call it, Danny's Top 150.
Yeah.
And I got to hand pick, and that list was so helpful to pull all the people that had sent us clients and thought of us and sent people to us. So those people made it. And then from there, plugging in with my most important clients, referral partners, vendors. And the best thing ever was when we invited people to this all-you-can-eat suite right behind the goal on the field at our professional soccer game.
Awesome.
I loved it when people said no, because I could invite more people. You know
That's
how
right.
great that is?
And here's the thing. They don't even have to like soccer to love that,
You just got to like food and drinking. That's
right?
it.
That's right. That's right. And just the fact that you're on the field, and just the fact that it's exclusive, it's private, it's, and it's a little bit more now that you rapidly achieving local celebrity status, right?
Yep.
In your marketplace, they also get some closer time with you
That's
versus
it.
the comedy event. They probably didn't get any time with you,
The
right?
text afterwards you get from that one is like, "Hey, it was awesome," and you're like, "You were there? I had no
Yeah,
idea you were
yeah.
there."
You don't say that, I'm sure.
No, yeah. It's, oh, it's great. I'm glad
You're
you
like,
could make it.
yeah, totally remember. Yeah. So, all right. So I absolutely love that you did that. I'm a huge fan. And honestly, that might have done more for your future referrals
Yep.
than the 2,000 person comedy event.
Yep.
Because you're rewarding those that are already these ambassadors and fans for you. And you just really encourage them to go out and do more of it. The other thing that I love from Top Yap events is that, when somebody from your top 150 meets somebody else from your top 150, it's like plus like. They both like you, and they say, well, how do you know Danny? How do you know
That's
Danny?
it.
And then they're like, oh, they tell the story to each other. Well, when they walk away, like plus like equals two loves.
That's
They walk
it.
away loving and being more encouraged, and actually being even emboldened to talk about you on the streets more, because there's others like them. It's kind of like when somebody joins a company like KW or
Yep.
EXP or something. What do? They brag on that company everywhere
That's
because
it.
they just joined them, even though 2 weeks before they were bad mouthing that company, right?
You know what's
Why?
funny?
You
You
joined
just
them.
said the plus likes. I call this, and I've never had a term for it. I always call it my love language. When I watch two people at one of our events start talking, and I love both of them, and they meet each other, I'm like, that's my weird love language of watching that happen. I'm like, that's my favorite thing. When my groomsman meets my basketball
That's
teammate
right.
at our Reds game, and they start talking, and I'm like, oh, I could just die. I'm so happy.
It's the best, right? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's the best, right? I mean, it's always be connecting. Always be connecting. And when you're connecting, I mean, that's the thing about an event. What is the secret to success in sales, and especially real estate? It's conversations. He or she who has the most conversations wins. But here's the thing. What if you could conjure up conversations that were about you without you being there? And that's the secret sauce. Well, what
Yep.
does an event do? An event, if there's 150 people at an event, that's 500, 600 conversations about you, right? Because they got to go to each other. They got to
Yep.
go to each other. Every time they meet, their question is, how do you know Danny? How do you know Barron? How do you know what's going right? And so you are actually creating all of and guess what those conversations do? They create more conversations that don't include you out and about. And an example of that is somebody takes a picture at their event, at your event, and puts it on social media.
Yep.
They just had a conversation with 1,000 people about you without you being a part of that conversation.
Yep.
It's just the leverage and scale of events is just off the charts. All right. So got about 15 minutes here. We have to do this, right? And it's so funny as your last name's Barron, right? So uh, the Birmingham Barons is a minor league baseball team. And I actually got the chance to play against them a long, long time ago. And it's funny because it's like whenever I think of you, I see baseball. right? And you're like, no, I play basketball with a bunch of guys, and I actually wore a baseball hat today for this conversation because like we're talking baseball. Like I was like I got to wear my uniform,
you had
right?
to get going.
I got into uniform for this. Um, and by the way, Birmingham Barons is the team that Michael Jordan played for when he
Space
took a
Jam.
break from basketball. And he
Real
actually
life, but
bought
for me as a kid, it was Space Jam, watching him with that Barons jersey and going,
That's
"That's
right.
my name."
That's right. Yeah, right. So it's so cool. And so baseball makes a lot of sense, and the Reds make a lot of sense. I mean, you've got a great young team, and you have an event that you've been doing the last few years. Why don't you talk about what you're doing with your Reds event this year?
Yep.
And guys, you got to realize his event's not even for another month, but he's already got a ton of people who have already interacted, already RSVP'd, and are already jazzed up with it. And honestly, one of the things that triggered this conversation to be about is he changed his profile photo on Facebook to him in a Reds jersey with a bat beating another realtor over the head. I'm just kidding. It was him
I must
holding a
have missed that
bat
part.
with the Reds jersey with the information to register in the description of his profile pic. That is a genius idea. I absolutely love that. So let's talk about the Reds event.
Let's talk about how many other people changed their profile picture today. You're friends with me on Facebook. What you don't know is 17 team members did the same thing.
Yeah.
So we are
love
taking
that.
over Cincinnati with that picture. So let me give you a picture of this. We've been marketing to our point, this event. We put a save the date out there probably 45 or 50 days before. We're now about 30 days before. And just so everyone is very clear, that's slightly behind where I would like to be, but we've got some people out on maternity leave. Our media team was out for paternity leave. I mean, there's just been a lot of stuff happening where not everyone's going to be perfect, right? So 30
Your
days ahead
team's
of
not
time.
just productive, it's reproductive, Danny.
Dude, you
I
would
mean,
be
oh my God,
amazed.
with the kids, dude.
I tell everybody if they want to expand their family, join the Baron Group. So as of this morning, or let's say this, at our team meeting yesterday at 10:30 a.m., we sent the link to register. Not a single person had registered for the Baron Group Reds game. It had not been distributed. As of today, we have 426 people RSVP'd for our Reds game. That's 24 hours. So 10 o'clock yesterday, 29 hours. So we're talking, that's almost, by the end of the day today, we're on pace to have 500 plus people registered in basically a day plus. That is because all of those people most likely come every year. They already know this is coming. They've seen the marketing. I have received so many text messages and emails and Facebook messages asking me, and just DMs on Instagram, when does the link come out? Like, we have the date, but did we miss tickets? Are we okay? How many people can we bring? I mean, when it creates an annual conversation about something like this, Michael, it is a family staple for them, bringing value for them. They don't care about like this tone of voice of like, thanks for supporting us. It's not about them supporting us. It's about bringing genuine value for them.
Boom.
And they are hyped, bro. So for them to have come last year, we set our record peak last year with 3,000 RSVPs. Now, let's be honest. Up front, you have to buy 3,000 tickets. You know who we played against last year at our game? The Los Angeles freaking Dodgers.
Oh God.
And guess who was on the field for the first pitch? Because we get asked to do the ceremonial first pitch every year. I was within 5 feet of Shohei Ohtani walking past me, and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman walking back to the dugout. Our media guys standing next to me just filming them like, is this happening right now? I mean, it is awesome. So the places that you can get from doing a cool event is nuts. But realistically, with this event and the actual touch points that are happening, yes, we do an entire photo shoot every year and a video shoot of our whole team. We take it almost like a little league style team photo where half the team kneels in the front and half in the back, all in Reds gear. That goes on a mailer that goes out with a QR code to directly to RSVP. That same thing is probably half of our team's banner right now on their Facebook page. We'll post that from our Instagram page. You're going to see the most ridiculous video drop to some probably lo-fi rap beats to all of us in our Reds gear next week. I mean, it's just the amount of fun that goes into this and clowning around. If you search and if people want to really see this one, we actually 1 year studio recorded Take Me Out to the Ball Game with 4 of our very talented team members. There's a ripping electric guitar solo. Our lead vocalist is Sarah on my team, who is such a good vocalist. And we went and paid $500 to studio record it and then made a music video outside the stadium. As we're outside the stadium, the team owner walks by and asks me what we're doing. I mean, the amount of that it is just ridiculous when you really get into the headspace.
And you think it's coincidence, but it's opportunity. It's all of that is opportunity creation, right?
That's it. That's it.
And I love how you're utilizing the non-real estate talents of your team. That's one of the things I talk about in my 7 gifts of generosity presentation is one of our gifts of generosity is our talent outside of real estate. We can give that talent and use it in other ways that provide value. And people want to reciprocate that. So I absolutely love that. And I love that it's not all just parody, right? You didn't butcher Take Me Out to the Ball Game. It's actually, wow, this is phenomenal.
People think we yanked somebody's version because it's professionally recorded. So they thought we were just lip syncing it. And I'm like, no, we recorded this. This is our people. So realistically, man, it's all about you know this as well as anybody, but to anybody listening, at the beginning, I love the Cincinnati Reds. The passion for this event comes from my joy as a solo agent in 2019 with a stack of 225 tickets alone outside of the game. Let me repeat that. I was by myself with 225 tickets. My mother was stuck in traffic and had to bail on me for helping. And a random but incredible and now dear friend of mine, Amanda, from church at the time, I was like, I don't know why she's helping me, but she jumped in and helped me orchestrate the tickets. Wow. And I was so stressed by myself. Here we are in 2024. This game has incrementally built. COVID gave us a nice jump because everyone wanted something fun to do. So it somehow eclipsed 1,000 the year after our 200 game because the fact that you could go to a game was so mind-blowing. And we lean into that. We knew it was a little risky to buy the tickets, but we're like, the world needs some fun and our community needs some joy. And we need to be the ones to plug that. And I don't think anyone's going to die in the process. We didn't know that at the time, but it was like, we're going to take the risk. And if they want to stay far apart and wear masks, that's totally fine. Here we are in 2024 coming off of a 3,000 person event. But when you're purchasing that many tickets, it is a sunk cost up front in my brain that not everyone's going to show up. So we've honed in more on the numbers now of how many tickets do we buy and how many people actually show up. Now, if it happens to pour rain, which it did 1 year on our game, you're just going to expect to get half of your people there. We had a 2-hour rain delay. And did you know that it was still one of the most fun nights of the year? And the Reds actually set off their fireworks before the game because it's supposed to be a fireworks Friday after the game. We do that on purpose. And they set them off before the game because the rain delay was so long. And after about 3 outs in the first inning, everyone with kids left. But they spent 2 hours at the ballpark, eating pizza, eating hot dogs, hanging out. You would have thought we just invited people into a big just auditorium to hang out, and they had the barbecue, best day of their year.
Right?
That's it, backyard barbecue, but you just happened to be looking at this rainbow after it finished raining. So, I mean, just really, really cool opportunity to lean into your people. For us, it's a passion area. We love the marketing side of it with our full-time media team. Those guys are constantly dreaming up fun and innovative things. And on my side of it, to be honest with you, at this point, it is such a staple that it feels more like people are bugging me when it is than I'm having to shove it down everybody's throat that it's coming up. And it's it's a joy to be able to do it.
It's the what I call the pumpkin spice latte effect or the McRib effect, right? It's man, did I miss it? Is it coming? When is the McRib going to be launched? When is the game going to be? When are the tickets? Like, I don't want to miss out on the tickets, you know?
Oh, and the devastation when people find out they have weddings the night of our game.
Or sold out. Yeah, totally. I mean, it's like I've got 1,000 tickets, and when they're gone, right? It's a powerful thing. And one of the things that man, being 2025, some people think COVID is a distant memory, but here's the truth is overall people have come crawling back into socialization from COVID. They didn't, what happened is when COVID happened, it absolutely blew to bits people's social circles.
Yep.
Well, that's a real opportunity from an event perspective because you can actually, I mean, people are creatures of habit. So you can actually make one of their habits coming to your events because they don't have, 2020, no events, 2021, almost no events.
Yep.
I mean, we're only 3 years removed from having events. People are still kind of crawling out, finding their new circle,
Yep.
their new social circles. And guess what? This is a real opportunity for people who are thinking about doing events. So absolutely love that. And what are you going to do differently at this Reds game than you've done? And how many years have you done it?
So this is going to be
Six.
number
Six.
maybe did we miss a year for COVID? I think we still
2020
had it
probably
in
didn't
2020.
happen.
Yeah, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm thinking it either was late or I actually think that baseball season happened, but it was just very disparate seating or whatever. So
Yeah.
they had us taking up twice as many sections. So I believe this
Yeah.
is year number 6 we've done it.
Yeah.
To answer your question, a name Pete Rose, you're going to be very familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
We do a T-shirt every year for this game. We came up with the slogan. I remember telling my business partner I didn't like it at the time, which was maybe the dumbest words to ever come out of my mouth. Our phrase is heading for home. So we do
Oh, there you go.
a different custom logo on a shirt every year for the first 1,500 people that arrive. We do kids
Okay.
shirts, adult shirts. Our team is in the shirts. The systems when you get to this event, Michael, would blow your mind. It's like 6 tents in a row. You show up, you log in with your Eventbrite link, you get shifted down, you ask what t-shirt size, you get your whole family's t-shirts, you shift down, you get a Baron Group drawstring bag, which I can't go anywhere in Cincinnati without seeing now. They go down, there's unlimited bubble gum. You take as much as you want, double bubble. You scoot down unlimited sunflower seeds, you scoot down unlimited water bottles, and then don't open that water bottle because you want to wait until you get in the stadium. And then they head on in with a bag, a shirt, and all the goodies they could need for the night. They are so happy to go buy their own hot dog. They don't need anything else from us.
Yeah, for
they
sure.
got the ticket. They
got
got
the game.
Yes,
The game is
the game
entertainment.
alone is
And
enough.
are you always doing them on Fridays so that you get Friday firework?
Yep,
I mean,
and
I mean, people like that's a little thought
yes,
that gets I mean, the other thing too that I love about this is, Danny, you're not the entertainment,
No,
right? You're
not
not the
at all.
entertainment. The baseball game and the firework are the entertainment. So I think a lot of people think that they've got to be the entertainment or they've got to be the one speaking or doing a speech or what. And it's like, no, just give people what they want.
Yes.
Give people fun.
Get out of their
Give them
way.
entertainment. Do what?
Yes, get out of their way. Like,
Get out of the way,
we'll have
right? Get out of the
lenders
way.
early on that would say, like, well, can we get 10 or 15 minutes to share? I'm like, nobody's sharing anything. We're providing value and we're getting out of the way because there is no catch. And I want to be able to tell people that with a straight face. So when you asked about different this year, we're doing a shirt in honor of Pete Rose. So we have him on the shirt and outline him diving into home
Head
base.
first.
And then on the sleeve, we've got the 14 with the circle that the Reds are wearing this year. So that's our specific one for this year. And on top of that, we've got new agents on the team that have never done this. So there's a whole new crowd of people coming in. For me, we get to pick the opportunity each year to pick, and no one on my team knows who it is this year yet, but someone to do the ceremonial first pitch and the catch.
Nice.
So Mitch and I, my business partner, did it the first year. Since then, we've honored either top salespeople or our lender who supported us for 5 years, longtime client of mine and our top referral partner from that year. So we announce each year to our team and to our database, and we typically make a funny video about whoever that is doing the pitch, and they come out with us and make a video beforehand. So that's a cool thing to honor our team with. That's upcoming soon, so we'll keep you in the loop on that one. But realistically, once you get inside, ready for the magic of this, most people coming at this point do not expect to see at the event at all Danny Barron. They actually don't think they're going to see me because there's 3,000 RSVPs and I'm down on the field for the pitch with whoever does it. They don't expect to see me. I've kind of gotten in my rhythm now. Nobody on my team has to know this. I go sit in the outfield for about an inning or two after that pitch to gather my emotional bearings back. Because you are so overwhelmed with the first 500 people you did see, then you're rushed down on the field, then all this stuff is happening, then the hype of the pitch, then you get rushed out, then you go up and you're starving, you need something to drink, and you do not have the capacity to go talk for the next 2 hours. Now with the pitch clock, this has changed it because games actually go quicker. You know this.
That's right.
So I don't burn a ton of time out there now, maybe an inning, and then I wander up and I wander back and forth in the bleachers for the next 2 hours.
That's
Talking to every single person I can. And when I get to talk to them, they view that as a that was awesome moment, not like an expectation. So if people see me wandering, they're looking around knowing the Barron Group has section 510 to 525. Like, we're not going to see Danny. So even if they see me from a distance, I get people sending me photos of me, like, what up, celebrity? Like, whatever it is. So when I do get to talk to those people, it's an impactful moment. And our team is instructed to do the same thing. Get in the bleachers, go talk to as many people as you can. And they don't have to be, hey, good to see you, see you later. It's a baseball game. Plop down next to them and give them 7 minutes and talk about their kids, talk about their dogs, talk about their house, talk about what's coming up. Do they have any friends and family that need help? Whatever. And just make it authentic conversation. And guess what? This is the least salesy thing in the world. You're just creating real relationships with people. And it's beautiful, dude. It's so fun.
It is. It's a beautiful thing. And I one of the things that I had to remind my team with the Maher team night at the Royals and the things that we did is you're not there to watch the game. Like, I'm not there to watch the game. I mean, if you see pictures of me at the Maher team night at the Royals, my back is to the
You're
game.
facing the other way. Heck
My back is to the game with every picture. And that's when you know you got a great one, right? You're networking, you're chatting, you're talking. You might
We're
even
baseball fans. That's hard for us.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, but here's the thing, right? Big hit. What do? Right? We all turn around, we watch it. We wouldn't want to be talking through that anyway, right? And the Royals never really had any great hits when I was doing. I mean, I'm just kidding, but they were not very good. They
had about 1 year. That was pretty exciting, right?
85, baby. 2000 and 2005 was a great year. 2004 and 5.
So I'll tell you this.
No, I'm sorry. 2014, 2015.
We had at the Barron Group Reds game 2 years ago, Michael, a walk-off extra innings home run. Bro, the hype level last year, a grand slam, and we beat the eventual World Series champion Dodgers. I mean, we've picked
my God.
So everybody's joking with us now, like, what's going to happen this year? I'm like, do not hold me to that.
Yeah. Holy cow. That's you can't script it any better than that.
If there were 2 dynamic games for the Reds in the last 2 years, we might have picked them. So I'm hoping May 16th against the Guardians is a good one this year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Danny, this has been phenomenal, right? And just appreciate it. I really appreciated the shout outs at Family Reunion. Did not expect that. I love, and everybody here, just so you know, this is going to come out, in the next couple of weeks, and there's going to be some announcements that are coming out. But I love where you were on the stage and you go, you need to make sure you check out Michael J. Maher's 7 levels of communication. And, I know it used to be with KW. Some lady in the audience, what did she yell?
He's back.
Oh yeah, he's back. He's back. And I'm like right over there going,
that was like the best news of my day, dude.
It's like it's supposed to be a secret, right? It's like it literally the ink had dried like that day, But it's like word travels fast, man. It's just a crazy thing. But,
good word travels fast, Michael. Good word travels fast.
Well, I appreciate that. But it was just great seeing you light up the crowd, and there's nothing like seeing someone in alignment with their lead generation, right? There's nothing. I mean, your business is in alignment with who you are, right? And it's just it's inspiring and it's energizing, and you can really tell you love what you do. So,
and to my team leaders out there that are rainmakers or whatever you want to call yourself, it works for your team. Like, it's a beautiful lead generation strategy for you to bring other people along on the journey. And that's what's helped to change my life, Michael, is seeing your impact in this specific area of events and referral mastery. To then I have then had the joy of passing that along, not just to my team, but there's a guy in Philadelphia now who's become my homie, Tony. We had a Zoom call just like this a year ago because he found me after seeing some of our stuff from Mega Camp or Family Reunion. And a year later, he hit me back and he's throwing a massive Phillies game this year. The biggest smile on his face ever. He told me that I changed his life, and I laughed and said, "You got to talk to Michael."
No,
I'm glad, man, but I'm just repeating what the master said.
You know what? I think it's our responsibility to keep passing it on. I really do. I mean, man, if we could just get every realtor building their business on love, generosity, and appreciation, and doing lead generation that makes people feel awesome, could you imagine like that? that's a dream come true. That's a vision I can get behind. So
I'm all in, brother.
yeah, I'm all into, and I'll tell you, I really appreciate you and just everything you're doing. I'm excited about doing some things together in the future, and I just want to thank you once again for being our guest here on Referrals Podcast, brother.
Thank you, bro. Anytime and anything you ever need, you've got a friend over here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and if you've heard stuff about event mastery and time mastery and networking mastery and the classes that we teach, you can get one full pass to all of those by going to referralmasteryacademy.com. Referralmasteryacademy.com. For less than $100 a month, you can get 3 event masteries a year, 3 networking masteries a year, 3 time mastery classes a year. And the bottom line is referrals are guaranteed. Check it out at referralmasteryacademy.com. And for those of you that are subscribed to Referrals Podcast, you are going to be so glad you are subscribed, because I know what next week's podcast is about, and you are going to be blown away. So I hope to see you on the next one. And ladies and gentlemen, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in to Referrals Podcast. We'll see you next time.